Am I a Swiftie? Probably not by most people's standards. But one thing that Taylor and I can agree on is that when it comes to breakfast, nobody does it better than Cracker Barrel. Also, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of her releasing her Midnights album. And on the album, Anti-Hero, it's won all kinds of awards. And the problem that she talks about in the song used to be my problem. And if you've ever looked in the mirror and not liked what you've seen, it's probably your problem too. And that's what this video is all about. So Taylor Swift's Anti-Hero, it's coming up on the 1-year anniversary, and the song has won all kinds of awards, including People's Choice Favorite Music Video, MTV's Song of the Year, iHeartRadio's Song Music Award with Best Lyrics. The music video has over 160 million views on YouTube. I mean, this song has just really blown up. It's been at the top of the Billboard charts for a long time, and there's a reason for that. So the song opens with her in this music video looking like the girl next door. You know, she's sitting there and she says, "I have this thing where I get older, but just never wiser." And the song kind of plays that out in multiple variations as it goes on. I mean, she's talking about depression that she's experienced, insomnia. She's ghosted people and now they haunt her, you know, and it kind of walks through different scenes, you know, of her life in a sense, where she's like wrestling with all of this, you know, inner tension. And then the chorus is her epiphany. The front door opens and there's another version of Taylor. It's the party version of Taylor. And she says, "It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me." And that's her epiphany. She's realizing like, I am the problem. She doesn't really know how to fix it. You know, it's a problem without a solution. And actually the music video ends and the song ends with her sitting up on her roof, and she's there looking like the girl next door. You know, she's also got this party version of her as well as this larger than life version of her, kind of her alter egos in a sense. And they're sitting there and they're passing around a bottle of wine, isolated, depressed, and the song just kind of ends. Why has it been so relatable? Like why have people connected with it so much? And I think it's ultimately because this is an identity crisis that she's experiencing right here. Like in the chorus, she sings, you know, multiple times. This is a really great line. She says, "I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror." Can you imagine like that kind of pain? I think many of us can. Like we would rather experience like physical harm than have to look at ourselves and like who we really are. I mean, in her case, like outside of her ability to perform, and she's this like world recognized rock star, you know, and outside of her ability to perform and write songs and people loving her, like she doesn't really know who she is. And really it's this identity crisis that I think ultimately is what's connecting with people. So I know that I have wrestled with my own identity multiple times, like, you know, and one really clear time when I was young, 1st through 8th grade, I was homeschooled. And this was back in a time when homeschooling was not a popular thing to do. You know, now it's like not only accepted, it's becoming like an increasingly popular thing to do. Back then it was not. And all the stereotypes that you can think of homeschoolers, like that was me, and that was the people that I hung out with. And then eventually I went back to public school in 9th grade. And I'm telling you, like I was embarrassed of the stereotype. You know, I was constantly aware of, you know, social cues that I might be missing. I was looking for them because I really didn't want to be found out. I wanted to be accepted, you know, and so I gravitated to different things that helped me like form an identity that would help me be accepted, that would, you know, welcome me in, you know, whether it was sports or whether it was, you know, hanging out, dressing the right way, all these different things. And I know this seems like maybe like a high school problem, you know, but this is a problem that actually carries through the rest of our life, because we so want to be accepted. We so want to be connected. And it's that seems to be really resonating with people right now, and it may be resonating with you, and I know that it has with me. It's like we don't want to look at ourselves when we don't feel confident in who we really are. Like, we need a strong identity. You can't make it through life without a strong identity. And the temptation, or at least the natural like gravitational pull, is like, I've got to try different things on, different identities on, to be accepted. And yet they may not be who you like really are. Like, we need to know who we really are. And so like, that's really my question for you, is like, who are you really? Are you just an athlete? Are you just a student, or a businessman, or a mom? Like, or do you just resonate with your political party? Is that how you identify? Is your identity your sexual orientation? How do you think about yourself? Who are you? Who are you really? And if you were to strip all of that away, what would be left? Because see, that's what I think that Taylor is expressing in this song, and why I think it's so wildly popular is because at some point life starts to weigh down on you, and all of the different things that you've counted on in your identity, that they start to crack and they start to fade. I mean, you get older, you get wrinkles, so if you've identified on your beauty and your attractiveness, on your popularity, because of that, eventually you'll get wrinkles and you'll get older. If you've counted on your strength, eventually in life you'll get weaker. If you've counted on your mind and how smart you are, and that's who you are. I'm smart. Like, eventually you'll become more forgetful. If you've counted on your work and your accomplishments and what you've done, I'm telling you, eventually all of your best work will be totally forgotten by people. They won't remember. They'll move on so quickly. You'll get sick, and eventually you'll die. And for some of you, like, these are things that are coming. I can assure you that they're coming. For others of you, you're experiencing them right now. And this is why you need an identity that is unshakable, that is grounded. And this is where Jesus comes in. And I'm not talking about religion, because sometimes people just they identify with their religion or their tribe or whatever, and that becomes their identity. And that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a relationship. I'm talking about Jesus, who understood our problem, like, who understood that we have forgotten who we really are, who we were created to be. And he understood our problem so much that he was willing to come down into it, to come down weak and poor. He was willing to leave the glory of heaven, to come down to earth, to trade places with us, to see how all the sin and the chaos that we have created, he was willing to take that upon himself. In how we feel cast out, he became cast out. He was crucified outside of the community, outside of the city, in order that we could be brought in order that we could be brought into God's home. And this is an amazing thing, is that when you believe in Jesus, when you are willing to put all of your sin, let him take all of your sin and receive all of his goodness, you become adopted by God, and you receive a new identity, your true identity. You become a child of God, a son of God, a daughter of God. Like, that's who you become. Like, this is one of the big benefits. This is one of the great results of believing in the gospel. Not only do you receive forgiveness of your sin, which is certain to bring death, not only do you receive forgiveness of that, you get a new identity, one that is unshakable, one that when life weighs down on you, you don't have to worry. Like, that's who I am. When people label you, when people reject you, that's who you really are. And this is really my hope, that Taylor Swift would one day realize who she is, that she would accept Jesus, that she would choose to accept the new identity that comes with that. And that's my hope for you as well, is that you can truly experience what it's like to have a core identity as a child of God, because nothing else matters beyond that. And that's my hope for you.